Okay.
Hey
Hi.
guys.
Hey Facebook. How's it going? Welcome everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I don't know if anybody's tuning in yet. Maybe they'll be here in a minute.
I mean, it's been like 30 seconds.
It's been 30 seconds and eventually they'll get there. Brian and Callie Troy are on here with us tonight. We're just going to talk a little bit about some of the groups and some of the things we got coming up this fall. I know it is a very unusual time in all of our lives right now. Yes, still, we're still talking about how odd life is. So yeah, for you guys, I mean, what's been unusual the last couple of weeks, couple of months for you guys of just life in general and things that you're trying to do that you would normally be doing that are so different right now?
Well, for us, I think just getting used to a schedule only to have it change every few days. So whether that's, oh, school's open, school's closed, nope, school's open again. Just getting used to that. And then my job, this is our busy season anyway. So kind of trying to travel and with all the precautions and staying safe. And yeah.
And the novelty of kind of quarantining at home and re-cocooning again has worn off long ago. And
yeah. Not quite so new and fun and exciting as it was.
No.
Yeah.
Not so much in that I can't wait to spend time with my family type phase. More of like, dear God, get me out. Like,
I love you, but I need my corner for just a couple minutes. Like
a couple minutes.
Yeah, sure.
Just need to be quiet. I'm going in my closet. Like, just gonna surround myself with clothes and don't come bother me.
I think Kelly's interested in starting her podcast so that she can spend more time in the closet. I really think that that's part of the motivation.
That is where I'm like, where I am like recording and stuff.
I think that's part of the motivation.
Yeah, there's a lock and no one can get in.
Yeah.
And it's just my little space now.
Yeah. So yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Well, we've got a few other people tuning in and we have small children walking down our stairs now. So this is just the way it's going to go. It's real life. But if you're here, we'd love to know that you're here, that you're watching. Say hi, say hello, tell us what campus or you're watching from. I hope that you're going to get something out of this. We're going to talk for a little bit tonight about some of the groups and some of the things we've got coming up this fall. I know it's a little bit different how we're going to gather and how we're going to connect. But I also think it's going to be really cool. There's some really new and different and interesting things that we're going to be able to do that we wouldn't have done normally. So it's also just a cool opportunity that we have to connect and to get together. So we're going to talk about, we've got four main things we've got going on this fall. And so we're going to talk about each of them a little bit. Before we do that, most of you all know I'm Blaine. This is my wife, Kelly. I'm the director of foster care and adoption ministries at Southeast Christian Church. Kelly helps lead our mom's Bible study that we have. And Brian and Callie, do you guys want to introduce yourselves real quick and your family a little bit?
Sure. So I'm Brian. I'm a marriage and family therapist. And this is my wife, Callie. She works for a vaccine management company and we're adoptive parents. Our son is 4 and we adopted him from South Korea.
And he is the cutest kid in the world. Has the best smile.
The most joyful kid ever.
Yeah. So so we're going to talk just about a few of the different groups and just kind of give you a sense if you've seen some emails, seen some Facebook posts about the groups coming up and aren't sure, well, what is that about? What are you guys going to do? What is that? We want to just explain a little bit of what some of those groups are going to cover and what they're going to be about. So you want to talk a little bit about the Mom's Bible Study and what that's going to look like?
Yeah, so we are going to meet as a group on Zoom, and then there are 3 host homes in the Louisville area that if you want to do an in-person, there are a couple of homes that you can do that. You just have to sign up for those. We are going to be going through Whispers of Rest, which is honestly has been amazing and has probably been the most refreshing devotional book that I have read in the last decade. It might just be the timing of it, but Bonnie Gray does an excellent job. It is set up as a devotional, but what I love about this book is you can, if you are super busy, you don't have time, you can read a day in under 10 minutes, or you can spend as much time as you want in it. And I love that. And even if you just read it straight and just have a couple minutes, you're still going to get some really good stuff out of it. So we're excited. This is for moms that are foster moms, adoptive moms. You may be approved, but you don't have a kiddo. That's fine. You could be a relative, maybe a grandma or an aunt or a sister who's caring for children in your home that you're related to. We welcome you to the community and to the table, and we're really excited. We're going to be meeting the first Tuesday of every month, starting September 1st, going through December. We'll meet at 7. There'll be a link to registration kind of in the comments. So go ahead and sign up. We are going to talk about the first part of this book when we meet in September. So sign up, get the book. It's really going to be great. It's great.
Yeah, I know, Callie, you've been in the moms group the last year. I mean, what has it been for you? Has it been just what's the experience like? What do you feel like you've gotten out of that
How
journey?
Amazing has it really been?
Yeah. How great is Kelly?
You
That's what
know,
we're
just go
asking.
ahead, tell everybody.
Kelly has been a fantastic leader, of course, of the group. But it's just been so sweet to, I think, just meeting with other foster and adoptive moms. It's nice to meet with moms in general who just get it. But when you're meeting with other foster and adoptive moms, or like hopeful foster and adoptive moms, it's just a really sweet time because you kind of almost skip past some of the more like fluffy parts of meeting people in a Bible study. And it's just really real and they just get it. And so you don't have to really, explain why you're kind of stressed out tonight or frazzled, or why it's a big deal when you have changes of routine and your kids don't do super well with changes in routine, because they just get it and they've been there as well. So last semester we talked about miracles and just living with eyes wide open to God's goodness, which came at a perfect time because it ended right as all of the quarantining and social distancing started. Yeah. So it's a really
right when we all needed a miracle to happen. Yes. That's when it ended.
And looking for the good, and how just looking for God's blessing in that. And so my little group from last semester, we still are texting throughout social distancing and quarantining, and there's no pressure. It's just, as people think of other people in their group, they'll just chime in. And one of the moms was a prospective adoptive mom, and she, their adoption process is finally moving again with COVID. And so just getting to celebrate together. And I think just doing life together it's been at a really great time. Even going from in person to unexpectedly doing everything remotely has been really sweet.
Yeah. I think it's awesome. I mean, I imagine that there are times where some of our moms or even some of our dads, when you're sitting in a small group in a Bible study, you're like, if I share this story, I am just going to scare everybody right now.
Right.
So I think that's one of the things I think has been cool to hear back from Kelly and hear back from some of our leaders about this space, is that it's really, the gloves are off. Like, we're just going to be honest of this is where we're at. And everybody around the table is just shaking their heads. Yep, been there.
I think we're all so exhausted that it's like we have no energy for the fluff. So if we can just get to it, that'd be great. Like, let's just get to the conversation. and like you said, in a way that is hopeful, in a way that is loving and energizing to one another, and hopefully inspires some hope, gives a little, encouragement and stuff. So I definitely think doing this book this fall will be just that. It is whispers of rest, which I think everybody needs. So yeah.
Yeah, and I actually started it, and I was kind of the same way. So I opened it, and I was like, I think Bonnie wrote this book for me. Like, I just started reading the first couple pages, and I was like, does she know? Like, is she in my brain right now? Because this is exactly what I need, just about, with the 200 things that are happening at any given moment during COVID, especially.
Yeah.
Such a good
I think every woman that I have given this book to, I get a text, I'm sobbing and I'm on day 1. Like, how is she piercing to my soul? So yeah, for sure. I'm so glad it's been that for you. That's great.
Hey, Julie, welcome.
Hi, Julie.
All right. I threw Julie a curveball today and had her figuring out Zoom, and she figured it out and she got here. So I'm so excited. So this is Julie Hartman. Julie is actually a new resident. So most of y'all know that our foster care and adoption ministry kind of got rolling about 3 years ago when I came on staff. And up until now, it's been largely me. And I've been begging favors from others on staff and from a lot of our lay leaders have been incredible, like Brian Callie, and Kelly as well, who is a wonderful free resource for us. But Julie just came on staff just 3 weeks ago. So she is a resident assigned to our foster care and adoption ministry, which is awesome. I love that our church is caring about this ministry and wanting to put more resources and more opportunities into it. And so, Julie, will you tell everybody just kind of where you came from and how you're excited to be here with us?
Yes. I'm from Kansas, a small town in Kansas, so Louisville's kind of big. And I graduated from Ozark, which a lot of people around Southeast kind of know what that is. It's a Bible college in Joplin. And so that's where I'm from. I'm excited to work with Blaine and Kelly because they kind of go together and just learn from them during this time and just kind of figure out what this looks like in my life and how I can become just helping in the foster care and adoption community. So
yeah, I think it's been great. Julie's been helping a lot. So some of y'all may start seeing some emails and some contact from Julie. And so if you do know, she's just another part of our ministry. She's going to be helping us resource. She's going to be joining in the Mom's Bible Study to listen and learn and some of our other stuff. And it's going to be super, super helpful. So I just wanted to introduce her to you guys. I'm excited for her to be here and to join in with us and to be a part of our ministry. So if you hear from her, if you see her, if you want to offer Julie a free meal, please reach out to her and do that. She enjoys that. So we're excited that she's here and going to be with us. So awesome.
Thanks, Julie.
Thanks, Julie. I'm not going to make you stay around to listen to us because you already know all this information. You've heard me yammering on for days. So I'm going to let you jump off and we're going to keep talking about some more of our groups. Bye, Julie.
Bye,
all right,
Julie.
bye, guys.
All right. So we've got the Mom's Bible Study going again. That's first Tuesdays of every month. It's going to meet at 7 o'clock. There are online options. There's also three moms that have their homes open that are going to be gathering together in groups under 10. So if you're looking for hey, I still want to get together in person with some people, we've got ways for you to do that. And I think it's, again, the book is great. Kelly is how awesome, how great this book is. And I think many of our other leaders have felt that too. So that's a great resource. That gets started September 1st. Middle of September, I think it's 15th. We've got another group launching this summer. We did it a little bit, but we really found a lot of opportunities. So we're trying it again this fall, and we've already got several people signed up, several families that are going to participate. So I'm excited about this. We're going to be reading, I should have a copy here, but I don't, The Whole Brain Child. Oh, look, Brian brought his copy.
There you go.
He's prepared.
Thank you, Brian.
We're going to be reading a book called The Whole Brain Child. This is just an amazing resource for any parents. The principles of this book apply to every kid in your home, but especially if you have kids with trauma, it is even more helpful and even more useful. So Brian and Kelly, I know you guys have read this book before and used some of the principles. What do you think? What do you think it's been useful for you guys in this book?
Yeah, so I think, both personally and professionally, like this is probably the ideas in the book are some of the most used for sure in my life. I think whether people have read it or not, it's one of those that like the more refreshers, the better. But I also think, we can relate. Adoptive parents tend to be kind of low on the gas tank. And so you kind of have to be efficient with when I do get a spare moment, what do I want to kind of invest in that can help me with this stage of life? And this is a fantastic book because it not only gives you the practical, okay, but what do I do about this in this specific situation, but it gives you the kind of the solutions in the context of where it's coming from. So it's not just we'll slap a Band-Aid here, and hope for the best. It's here's some practical things you can do, and here's why it works that way, and here's how to understand your kids better, and here's what's going on beneath the surface. So I love the book.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, I've read it 4 or 5 times now, and every time I'm like, oh yeah, I should still be doing that. I
Yeah.
forgot that's such a good principle. That's such a good strategy.
Mhm. I feel like Dan Siegel, like all of his books that we've read, is just really about meeting kids where they are and just leaving space for, especially with the adoption and foster care world, just all of the feelings and emotions and history, like everything that our kids are walking through, just really showing up for them and leaving space for those things and just really meeting them where they are in that. So it's a very flexible, versatile concept that he lays out too, so that we can do that in different situations for our kids.
Yeah. Yeah, and he really, I think, explains kind of where stuff comes from, like why, so it's not just, I'm not just responding to this behavior, but I'm also seeing where the behavior is coming from and what it's rooted in, and some of the brain issues. And it's also like, it's literally got cartoons in it.
Right.
So to help you, if you've got elementary and middle school age kids that you're trying to help them understand, hey, this is what's going on. This is why you're, melting down right now. Is this, like, you literally can read the cartoon with them and help explain how their little brain works and why it's not working so great at the moment. And
After they've stopped melting down.
and that's a principle of the book, is to do it after they've stopped melting
Don't
down.
bring out the cartoon while they're screaming on the floor. It's not going to work out well,
Yeah.
guys. Just
Yeah.
not.
So yeah, I think it's just a great book. So again, Monday nights, I think it starts September 14th. If I'm incorrect on that, we'll get that corrected. But it'll go for 6 weeks, and it's literally a chapter a week. It's such a short book. It's a great read. It's a great resource. So if you're looking for some resources that helping you deal with some parenting challenges, we think this is a great option. The third thing we're doing is something brand new for us in our ministry, is a group that I'm going to lead starting the end of September 24th. For 6 weeks, we're going to do a group for transracial adoptive families that we're calling transracial family dynamics. So just thinking through, what is the dynamic of, many of us primarily white parents parenting children of color, and whether they're coming from African American, Asian, Latino backgrounds, our experience of life is different than theirs and different than maybe what their experience of life is going to be when they leave our homes. And so how do we think about that? How do we prepare ourselves as parents? How do we prepare them for what they're going to face? And we're going to be digging into, really a lot of what does scripture say? What does the gospel say about race? What's kind of the historical background of how things are going? And then the thing I am most excited about for this is there's just a unique opportunity because of Zoom. We're going to get to bring in 2 adult adoptees to speak to our group that I would not ever be able to get in to just a live in-person group. And so Cam Lee Small is a therapist, a Korean adoptee from Wisconsin that's coming into our group one week. And then Angela Tucker, who many of you guys, if you follow The Adopted Life, she did a documentary about her story a couple of years ago called Closure. She's actually going to come in the last week and speak to our group and lead us through some discussion. And so, I think those 2 moments, if nothing else, are just going to be some powerful opportunities to listen, to ask questions, to understand how to prepare our kids for a future life, not just the current moment, but what is preparing them well. Because many of them both Cam and Angela, I know, talk about really the shock of leaving their home and entering college and just not being prepared for a world that saw them so much differently. And so we want to set you guys up for success and your kids up for success in that. So it's going to be exciting. That one starts September 24th. You can register. There is a little bit of a fee. It's $15 per family, but we're going to give you the book, the materials, and Cam and Angela are going to be a part of that event. So that's going to be a great opportunity. I know you guys have gotten to get to know Cam and do some work with him as a family. And so I know you guys enjoy him a lot too. So
He's great.
yeah, he's really, I'm enjoying his story a lot. All right, so that's our transracial group. The last thing we're doing, I'm gonna let Callie talk about it a little bit, but if you're listening tonight and you're brand new, you found this page because you're interested in fostering or adopting, or if you are a foster and adoptive parent and you have some friends, some family who are thinking about fostering or adopting, we want to continue giving people ways to get started. So we're going to do sessions throughout the fall that we call Considering Foster Care and Adoption. We normally do those in person. So for the fall, we're going online. We're going to do it by Zoom. Callie is going to help lead some of those. And so what is that class kind of like, Callie, and why do you think it's so helpful for folks?
Yeah, so this is one of our very favorite classes to be a part of at Southeast, just because we remember starting the adoption process or thinking about starting the adoption process, and we just went online and Googled adoption, and it pulled up thousands and thousands and thousands of results and just not knowing where to start and feeling kind of stuck of like, I don't even know what the next step is. Like, I've heard about this idea of adoption, I hear about it at church, but I don't know what the next step is. And so this class has been, it's a class that I think we wished we had when we had started those years ago before this ministry was founded. Just giving the basics of, what does the Bible say about adoption first, and then going through the basics of domestic adoption, foster care, and international adoption, and just the next steps with each. So it's usually about an hour and 15 minutes. And then, we usually have a couple families on the call as well, just to answer any questions. So if there are prospective families that are on there that are leaning towards a certain path or want to talk more beyond the call as well, we can get them connected with families in our church who have pursued those different paths. But yeah, I would say if you are one of those people who are like, well, I've always thought about adoption, but I'm just not really sure what to do, or someone that is, we love being a part of that class and are really excited for this fall.
Yeah, I think it was one of the first things I started hearing as I just met families at our church was most of them told me some story about like, well, we went to like 10 different informational meetings and we Googled a whole bunch of stuff online, and we asked friends of friends of friends to find somebody who had foster or adopted. And so if nothing else, we want to make the pathway just a whole lot clearer. I know Chrissy just chatted in that, she loves teaching this class too. Chrissy's at our E-Town campus. She loves teaching the class. She loves participating just because it is something I think a lot of us that started the journey wish we had a very just clear direction of what to do and where to go. So it's great. So as you can tell from this, we're gonna be quick tonight. We want to just give you the basics, but there's a lot of options on the table. We want you to get plugged in. We just want you to get plugged in somewhere. It doesn't matter which one's the right fit for your family. We want to see you get connected. I think all of us wish we didn't live our lives on Zoom in different spaces, but we do. But there's still opportunity in that to still connect and still be encouraged. And now more than ever, needing that sense of community and camaraderie is really, really important. So yeah, so if you guys have questions, leave them in the comments. I'm happy to follow up with folks. We will put a post up tomorrow with, again, another link to just all the groups so you can get there really quick and register. So we do have registration for all these different groups. We want to know you're coming so you can get to those places and get logged in. And it doesn't matter where you're coming from. So if you're part of a Southeast campus, awesome. If you're from another church, another state, another country, doesn't matter to us. We'd love to see you. We'd love to encourage you in your journey. That's what we're here for. We want to just inform, connect, and equip the body of Christ to care for vulnerable kids and families. That's why we're here. It's what we want to do. And so hopefully you're finding a way to do that. So awesome. Thanks, Brian and Callie, for being here.
Thanks, guys, so much for everything you do. We so appreciate you guys.
Yes, and there are many more leaders behind Brian and Callie that they represent at all of our campuses, and we appreciate everything they're doing to keep this ministry going. If you have a need, if you're a family right now that's just struggling with some issues or some challenges, Kelly and I are here. We have leaders at our campuses that are here. We would love to connect with you, talk with you, pray with you, help you figure out some strategies for your family. So I hope you got something out of tonight. I hope you get plugged into a group, follow the links, and get started. So thanks, Brian and Callie, for being here. We appreciate it.
Enjoy the rest of your night.